Hey everyone, welcome to episode 0, I guess, of the Tiny Disc Podcast, a show about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm normally joined here by Jack Cepeda and Colin Sparling. But today we've got something different and special in store for you. So we decided, with South by Southwest and spring break going on, we'd dig into our old dusty archives and find what we've got that we haven't published yet. So we found an alpha episode, which you can gain access to by pre-ordering the final episode of our podcast. Thanks, game industry. No, just kidding about the pre-ordering thing. So we have an early prototype episode that's never been heard before by any human ears, except ours. And we've decided, hey, you know what? We're going to publish it, and we're going to see what you guys think to kind of show how far we've come. Because it's been 10 months since we recorded that episode. We recorded it in May of 2017. And that was, while we were still kind of getting our bearings and figuring out what we wanted the show to feel and sound like. So we've definitely evolved a lot, hopefully. And, we've kept what was good. And maybe you'll see that in this old episode. So enjoy the video game discussion. Enjoy the weird discussions about Limp Bizkit, because I can't defend that. I really can't. But, enjoy.
Yeah. I gotta say, guys, I am shocked and amazed that I'm the one man on this podcast that Frito pie is a foreign concept. So I didn't realize you were both so cultured.
I'm sorry, but I don't think we're cultured for knowing about dousing chili over a bag of Fritos. Like, there's just something.
I don't know. I consider myself pretty uncultured swine. So
see, I love black beans in my burritos, but in chili, I just want meat, more meat, cheese, sauce, a little bit of sour cream, some jalapenos. I don't even do the oyster crackers.
Really?
Where do you stand on ground turkey instead of beef in your
what?
Yes,
it's out.
A thing. It's a thing.
We've broken his mind.
Oh,
Colin,
no.
It's over.
No.
Oh,
beef.
no.
Cows. I'm here to eat an animal, not a turkey.
I don't know, dude.
Wait, what?
I don't know. My mom makes a night.
Hold on. Are you saying a turkey's not an animal?
No, it is. But I'm saying it's not a real meal. It's not a real meal. It's not a real food.
What you eat at Thanksgiving? Excuse me. Yeah, Thanksgiving would like to speak with you.
That's the one day I make exception. But no, I try to avoid turkey. It's just a boring meat.
Dude, white chicken chili. My mom makes white chicken chili. It's, oh my God.
I've had white chili before. It was good, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Mm-hmm. It's probably way healthier.
Chili is my jam.
Heavy cream and all that, dude. Like mixing all that dairy with all that chili. Man, it's just like a rock in your stomach.
Oh gosh. Getting hungry just thinking about it.
We should probably start that podcast though, yeah, huh?
Yeah. The chili minute has passed.
the chili
minute.
Chili 5 minutes, more like.
Yeah, more like.
But yeah, welcome to the Tiny Disc Podcast, a show about nerdy media and the universe around it. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Jack Cepeda.
Hi, everybody.
And I'm also joined by Colin Sparling.
Bring Onimusha back.
Hashtag bring Onimusha back.
Onimusha.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I guess we're just here to talk about nerdy stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll leave that silence there. I was expecting an immediate response, like, yeah, let's get into this.
Because you don't usually add a question mark at the end of that question. You're like, I don't know. It's usually not like a huh. It's like kind of just like we just kind of assume.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I can speak only for myself. I'm very nerdy, and that's kind of the only thing I could talk about is nerdy stuff. So good thing I'm here, I guess.
Yeah, it's the only thing I really know other than, I don't know, random facts that nobody cares about. But I guess that kind of applies to this too.
Basically, I'm kind of a walking front page of Reddit. If it's on the front page of Reddit, I can
perfect
speak on it.
Okay, so you should probably do a take 2 of that then, huh?
No, no, we're going. We're rolling.
We're going with that?
That's it. Yes.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Keep the Frito pie train rolling.
Oh, man.
We're like Limp Bizkit. We keep rolling, baby.
Roll.
Don't ever. Colin, I don't ever want to hear that out of your mouth again.
All right, that's the first
rolling,
ground rule of this podcast.
You know what time it is.
Yeah, we're setting really dangerous precedents here. I'm quite concerned.
This isn't the Wild West anymore. There are laws.
Yeah.
We're civilized individuals.
You mean you don't mess with the chocolate starfish?
Don't do it. Don't,
the hot dog
please.
flavored water.
This hurts. This hurts.
No, that's how you know I'm a nerdy white guy, is because
so
I adore Limp Bizkit unironically.
You're limping with the biscuit? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, I'm limping with.
Oh my gosh. Your bandmates know about this?
Hey, my guitar player loves Limp Bizkit just as much as I do.
What?
If not more. So
I'll tell you, okay, I can't believe we're talking about fucking Limp Bizkit right now. But the first album was okay.
$3 bills, y'all.
Yeah, that one, Stuck and Counterfeit. I actually rocked out to those in high school. Like, I was rocking those songs. Like, I liked stuff. And then they just got big, and that song Nookie came out. And I think that just with a little bit of stardom that they had, because they were on MTV and everything, I just think that it just completely brought out Fred Durst's complete just douchebaggery. And he just, like, flew off the handles and just went crazy. I mean, even his own guitar player, Wes Borland, like, basically hated him, but they stuck together, you know, because it was a good business move for him. But his bandmates kind of hated him too, so I don't know. I hated it after the second album, but that's all I want to say about Limp Bizkit. I never want to talk about Limp Bizkit ever again.
Dude, I could talk a lot of Limp Bizkit for a good long while.
So, Colin, when you're not rolling around in your Limp Bizkit records, what are you doing?
I'm hyperventilating right now.
I don't know. I play video games sometimes. I do that.
Mm-hmm. Like, what have you been playing?
Things. No. I've been all over the place. So I've been playing. I just started Yakuza 0 today. Actually, finally. I know I've been talking about it like offline for quite a long time. But I finally got it. I just bit the bullet and paid like the $50 for it or whatever because I just wanted it that bad. And so far, it's great. You feel like a badass Yakuza Japanese gangster dude, and you feel very powerful. And you basically, when you beat the shit out of people, you feel like a Super Saiyan.
So my question for you is, what's your favorite mini game, and why is it the one where you cold call women and hit on them?
See, I haven't gotten that far as to like being able to do that yet, but I've played the karaoke mini game, and that's pretty great.
Okay, I just want to say to the viewers at home, Jack made the most confused face to that question that I asked Colin.
I'm sure I'm not the only one listening to you both talk and be like, WTF? Okay, hold on. Roll this back.
So
I got a question.
Let's go rolling back a little bit. Okay, so Colin,
this will be my last appearance.
Okay,
this is Jack's first and last appearance.
This is my swan song here.
All right, Colin, tell us a little bit about.
Yakuza 0. Can you roll it back a little bit? I got a question. So Yakuza 0, is that on PS4?
Yes. So Yakuza 0 is the prequel to the Yakuza series in the story anyway. The original is coming out on PS2 so there's 1 and 2 on PS2, and then 3 and 4 on PS3 if I'm not mistaken, and also 5, and then there was also Dead Souls. But no, they did 0 for I think 0 was a PS2 game. If I'm not, I could be wrong on that, but Yakuza 0 is actually a remake for PS4, I think.
A remake of what version?
I think it was originally on a different platform, unless I'm thinking, I could completely get this wrong. I know they're doing Yakuza Kiwami, which is a remake of the original for PS4, and it's running in the same engine as Yakuza 0. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Point being, Yakuza 0 is a prequel to the entire series. And,
right, okay.
And so, like, a lot of people jumped on it at Yakuza 0 because, like, you don't really need to know anything previously about the story. Because it's like, before everything else happens, this is what happens to all the characters. Because it was kind of like it had like a small cult following on the previous platforms and never really became a huge thing here in the US. But Yakuza 0, it actually sold pretty decently, I guess, on the PS4 because it reached a wider audience.
And it's like an open world game.
It's like a semi-open world game. So you get like wide open areas and things like that. But from what I've played so far, you're like mainly just kind of like following a character around and like going here or there. I guess the game opens up the farther you get. But like I don't think you completely have like free reign. It's not like a GTA where you can just hop in a car and go over to wherever
I was going to ask. It's not like GTA, so
no,
it's a little
I'm
more.
Thinking it's more like partitioned sections. I would assume,
like kind of like
I said,
like Deus Ex, Human Revolution.
Yes, that's actually a really good example. Thank you.
Okay, so not so much like sleeping dogs.
The sleepy dog.
Sleeping dogs. All right. So it's also kind of like a combat simulator. Like combat plays a heavy role in it. And I've heard it described, the series, I've heard it described as almost like a spiritual successor to Shenmue. Would you agree with that?
I haven't played Shenmue personally, but it definitely has like a similar atmosphere. And I think the combat does play similarly, where it's kind of like a button mash brawler, where it's like you have like your regular attacks, and then like your heavy finisher attacks, and then you have your grabs and your throws and all that. But of course, like in this game, you have like the super stylish finishing moves where like your heat bar fills up is what they call it, and when it fills all the way up, you can do like a finishing move where you like grab a dude and like smash him against the wall and then like punch him in the face and knock him out. Okay, or something like that. And then you can like upgrade your character and get all these, like flying kicks and things like that. And then you can start flying kick people out the window and stuff like that.
It's developed by Sega, right?
Yes, it is developed by Sega.
And you can like smash people into urinals and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting on. I want to see how many people's faces I can smash into urinals, and then see how many cute girls I can call over the phone. But I will say so far the best moment, I've only gotten like an hour into this game. Best moment I've had so far is like, so you're like walking down this dark alley, and you're like following this dude because you're supposed to go get drinks with him. He's like your buddy, I guess. He's in the same like clan as you. And this random British dude, like they say like foreign traveler, that's like his NPC name. But he looks like some random British dude, like who's like a fusion between like Sherlock Holmes and like Johnny Depp. And he's like, well, hello, I have some advice for you. But the thing is, it's not like spoken like voice acted dialogue. It's like texts. It's like all text, but with random like noises, kind of like a Legend of Zelda deal, but way more obnoxious. So like it's more like, I have some advice for you. Like it's so stupid. It's great.
Yeah, isn't the voice acting in the game like all in Japanese still, and they just kind of subtitle it and they move you to it?
Yeah, I just got triggered there all of a sudden.
Yeah. And then your guy just walks away. He's like, "Non desu ka?" And he just like goes on his way.
Yeah. So
but, no,
with the question I asked him, I was referencing the 75,000 mini games that you can play in that game.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. You can run your own whorehouse, which is pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah,
you can run it.
That's a mini game.
Yes.
Japanese pimp in this game.
Yes, you can.
Whoa.
Yeah,
and you can play pachinko, and what else? What are some of the other?
There's one
mini games?
where you kind of call girls and you hit on them, and like your responses to questions are like floating on the screen, and you need to shoot the right response. And it's stuff like they'll ask you, "How old are you?" and you can be like, "I'm 20, I'm 70, I'm trendy," and just silly stuff like that.
Yeah, or I'm a peanut butter and jelly. Like you identify as peanut butter and jelly, or like something stupid like that. It would be like, sumimasen, and just like hung up the phone. Like, because if you miss it, you just like sumimasen, and he hangs up the phone. He gets too nervous. And I don't know, dude, the game is so great.
Meat popsicle.
I identify as a meat popsicle.
Yeah.
All right, well, it sounds like crazy. It sounds cracked out.
Yeah, I have not played near enough of it to give a great impression yet, but like that's how I am in most things, to be honest. But it is like I've been anticipating playing it for so long just because I love the over-the-top ridiculousness it's got going on, because it reminds me of something straight out of like Japanese TV. So I'm like super stoked.
Yeah, Sega developed it, and they kind of brought in all their expertise with making Virtua Fighter and all those AM2 games. And I heard that combat just feels real tight in that game, so that's kind of the strength for it, and the story.
For sure. Yeah, the art style, now you say, it kind of looks a lot like Virtua Fighter too.
Awesome.
Yeah. Jack, what about you? What have you been playing for the past week?
Well, really nothing. I mean, I'm kind of ashamed to say this, but really nothing except Overwatch for probably the last 10 days straight. Just been going back to it. They had that anniversary event going on, and that's kind of what kind of drew me back, and I kind of rediscovered why I love that game so much, and realized that ever since it did come out a year ago, like no real first person shooter has really come even close multiplayer wise to Overwatch. So I've been on that train.
Yeah, I've been playing quite a bit of it too, just because of the anniversary event. And I'm of two minds about it. Like, I'm kind of like, this is cool. It's great that they're doing this, but the loot boxes are insane right now.
They've just always been horrible, and I don't know how much I've spent on loot boxes. It's more probably than the game cost itself, I can probably safely say. but it's such a good business move on their part, but so bad that like we literally call them disappointment boxes now. They're not loot boxes now. They're boxes of sheer disappointment and odious hatred.
Yeah. I mean, I've been disillusioned with the loot box system for a while now. You know, I think I was the one in our group of friends that coined that term disappointment box, because it's just, it's never good. You hit a certain point where they just kind of lose their sheen, their fun.
And then when you spend $10-$20 on something, you're just sad at the end. It's like there's no lower low.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't actually play Overwatch myself, but whenever my buddy's place and when I got there, he was playing Overwatch. He's like, "Hey, Colin, you want to see me open all my loot boxes?" And I'm like,
"Oh man,
sure." And he's like, "Look at this, watch this, watch
these lottery tickets."
Right. He's like, "Watch. This is going to give me a double of one I already have. Double, copy, copy, double. This is one I really don't give a shit about. Double. Super
Colin.
Not rare double."
Colin, let me tell you what is so great about getting doubles as well in those loot boxes is you get jack and shit for that in terms of currency. You get like 5 gold, 15 gold. Like, what am I going to do with this?
Like, if you get a duplicate legendary skin, which costs 3,000 to buy, you get 200 gold.
200.
Yeah.
Blizzard. Fix.
So,
yeah, but like I said earlier, it is a genius, I think, business move on their part. I would love to see. They'll never make it public, but I'd love to see how much money they're making from those loot boxes.
Oh, I know.
It's a lot, but I would say the anniversary skins, some of them are quite good. It's a little hit or miss. It just depends on like your preference of character. I'm a Symmetra player mainly, and her new skin for the anniversary event is pretty awesome, pretty cyborg and pretty cool. So it kind of looks like something more out of Diablo 3 than Overwatch.
Yeah.
And then they have 3 new arena maps for arcade mode. Good time as always.
Yeah. Have you played on any of them?
All 3 of them, yeah. I've been hitting up. Okay, so let me tell you what I've spent way too much time doing. I'm in arcade mode, and as you may or may not know, when you complete certain arcade events, you get a loot box, right? This veritable carrot and stick. And so I was trying to get the one loot box that you get if you win a 1-versus-1, one-on-one match, and they limit the character pool. So what are there, like 20 characters now or something like that?
It's like 24 maybe.
Okay, 24. Yeah. Anyways, they limit the one-on-one to, I want to say, maybe 10, maybe half of that you can be those characters, and none of which are characters that I'm particularly good with. They're not really characters I really play a lot. And so it took me probably like 12 matches of just punching myself in the face like, I hate this, I hate playing one-on-one, just to get this stupid loot box.
Yep.
That's probably worth like real world like $1 maybe. I was just like, why am I doing this? It'd be easier just to grind out levels and more fun.
Or pay the $1.
Yeah, pay the $2 or whatever it is exactly. But I was like, no, I'm not gonna leave. There's no loot box that's gonna be left on the table. I'm gonna take this one. They're offering this one. I'm gonna do what I need to do to get this one here. And so I finally, like literally after like 12, 13 matches of just losing. And by the way, losing bad, looking bad.
Yep.
Like I was not performing well at all. It's not like these were close games. These were obviously like people that weren't very good either. And we were just looking terrible. And I was just the worst of the two most of the time. So finally when I did it, like, yeah, I kind of did a little strut, got up on the table, felt good. Like, all right. Got that.
And then you get reported for feeding like me.
Yep. Yeah,
yeah,
I hated grinding for my 1v1 because like I'm a support tank man, you know, so like I've been trying to get better at DPS, but man,
damage per second,
well, you know, DPS characters like soldier, all that, but man, I like supporting the team a lot more, and it's fun and it takes its own skill set, but it definitely does not develop the skill set where you kill people. You know,
right. No, absolutely.
It's tough to do that with those support heroes. Like, you know, if I were a DPS main, I'm sure 1v1 box would be like really easy to get, right? But I don't know.
I'll say this would kind of be my last thought on Overwatch right now. For one, I'm loving the game. Okay, it's reminding me again like how great just Blizzard, a great job that Blizzard did in executing on every level with this game, with the controls, the gameplay, the art design, the music, character design, overall just the entire flow of every game. No two games are the same, and they're always fun. There are always different ways to play with all the different characters, all the different heroes. So you really don't have to be great at a shooting game. You don't have to be an awesome sniper to have fun at this game.
Yeah.
and that's what I like about it. It's also like literally the worst looking game on my computer, because for whatever reason, of all the dozens and dozens of Steam games I have, like it's the only one that doesn't support G-Sync, or there's some bug in it with the graphics driver. So I'm seeing screen tearing like crazy, even though like I have NVIDIA graphics card, I have a G-Sync monitor, and it's just not working. But I'm putting up with it, and even despite the fact that it's the worst looking game that I have on my system, I'm still playing it that much. So that is kind of a testament to how much fun it really is.
Yeah,
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, they just got off that free weekend. For Memorial Day, they had like 3-day free weekend, and I think the game's still discounted. I think $20 off, but check it out. It's awesome.
Okay, so I kind of want to talk about Disgaea 5, which they re-released it on the Switch pretty recently. And it
now, Robert, before you talk about this,
yeah,
I'm contemplating getting this one, so I need you to sell me on it.
Okay, it's a pretty bad game. I bought it expecting like a Mass Effect style game. Instead, it's like a turn-based RPG. Like, what is this? Like, I didn't ask for that. No, so
is it like grid-based?
Yeah, it's a grid-based like tactics RPG. The combat it feels really good, and this is coming from someone who's played a lot of like tactics style RPGs. Like Fire Emblem is a pretty big thing of mine. And Disgaea 5 does it pretty well in that. So you can have 10 units out at a time. Right. So like on turn 1, there's like every map you get like your mother base, which is like one tile. And from that mother base, you can spawn up to 10 units. Right. And you can put them all out on turn 1, or you can like stagger it if you want. Like turn 2, you spawn maybe 2 more and so on. But up to one time, you can only have 10 units out so far. And, they give you all kinds of units. There's a huge range. There's like, gunners, bow and arrow people, or like straight up, fisticuffs or spells, like pretty much every fantasy like class you can think of. They have some kind of analogy to it. And unlike other tactics RPGs where like you move your unit, they go there and then they attack, and that's the end of their part of the turn. Instead, you can move your units however you want, like within their boundary. And then you queue up attacks, and then you execute it at the end of the, like, not even at the end of the turn. You can just hit the execute button when you want to. So
that's pretty neat.
Yeah. So it's the idea of like, let's say you're fighting this one really tough dude. If you can surround him with like 3 people with like melee weapons, and then like post up some gunners around him, and like you can have all 5 of them attack him all at once and wipe him. So it's one of those games where you're kind of like setting up these cool combos and then watching them be executed. And it's a game that plays on that very well, and it plays of that to the absurd level. So like you can do things where there are like pair attacks, where if you have 2 units side by side and like one of them's attacking someone, there's a chance that they'll pair up with the other unit next to them and do some really cool like flashy attacks that do way more damage. Like for example, there's one where they both jump way up into the air, and then one of them kind of like body surfs on the other one and like comes crashing down. Like
Robert?
Yeah.
Are there relationships in this which affect how strong the attacks are?
No, not that I've seen so far. It's not a waifu game.
So from what I've heard about the Disgaea games is that like the story is just like absolutely absurd, like just stupid. And it's like, oh, this guy stole my bowl of ramen. Now we're going to start an entire war over it or something like that.
I mean, so far the story seems like your typical RPG, like, oh, there's a big bad guy and he's trying to take over all the universes.
The whole world.
Yeah,
so we've got to save the universe now. Just this ragtag group of anime characters, and they tore down our hometown, and daggone it, we're going to go get those guys.
Yeah, kind of. It's pretty much that. That's what I'm seeing the story as so far. But it's definitely the kind of game where, like, you're not playing it for the story, you're playing it for, like, it's your game that you have to grind. Because, like, you can literally go up to level 9,999.
Whoa.
Like, that's your character level. It's a game where it's just, like, all about breaking limits and, like, just, I have 1 billion HP. What do you have? Kind of a thing.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. But the best part, the absolute best part of this game, hands down, like, I would pay $60 just for this feature alone. Okay? So you can recruit units, right? And you can name them whatever you want. But they also have, like, a preset database of random names.
Oh man.
Oh, it gets better. So you can randomize it every time. And they have like your typical names like, Marie, Justin, Billy, Joseph, right?
English names.
Yeah, and they have a couple like Japanese style names too. But I was making this like male monk, and I was scrolling through the names, and I ran into Uppercuticus.
What?
The official mascot of tinydisc.com.
Yeah, Uppercuticus.
So let me.
Wow.
Please tell me that they actually like say the name within dialogue since it's a preset.
Well, so you get main characters,
I know, right? You gotta like record that, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna write that on paper.
I mean, they give you like, so you have main characters who are like integral to the story, and then you can hire like recruits for your army, but they aren't integral to the story. Like they won't come up in dialogue. You can just spawn them. So all the main characters, they're already named for you. You can't name them, so their voice comes up and all that. But these recruits, man, these names that you can generate are amazing. And they just don't make sense. Like, I have a female monk right now whose name is Hips Don't Lie. And that's a pre-generated name. I did not write
Dude,
that.
so hold on. I don't want to go over this too soon, but is Uppercuticus, does he just look like Mike Tyson?
No, he just looks like this like scrawny little like 12-year-old who's but he's anime buff. And is like, I could beat you up, but you're looking at him. It's like, dude, you're 12, but he totally could beat you up. He'll uppercut you into the stratosphere.
That's an awesome name.
I know, right? So, I mean, obviously the names thing isn't like the one thing to sell you on it, but it's pretty freaking sweet.
Is this like a 500-hour game?
Oh yeah, you could probably put that many hours into it, honestly.
Okay.
Because there are so many systems. Like, I'm still overwhelmed, and I'm maybe like 6-7 hours in. And usually by then you kind of have a good grasp on like the basic systems they teach you in RPGs. But man, it's so overwhelming because like you can have 2 weapons and 3 armors equipped on one person, but each of those weapons and pieces of armor can have 5 different like attributes equipped onto them.
Right.
And then
like Diablo.
Yeah, and then there's just a huge library of all the like traits you can get, and then you can fuse the traits together to make them stronger. And it's like, it's a lot to deal with all at once, when like you're not being eased into it.
Yeah, Disgaea, I grew up as a person growing up with Final Fantasy Tactics. That's kind of like my holy grail, of tactics fighters. But Disgaea was always kind of on the periphery for me. And I knew certain things like, okay, they have these weird looking penguins, right?
Yeah, Prinnies.
Okay. And, they're Prinny. Okay. Yeah. So that's where that comes from. And it looked cool, but it looked like a real deep dive, for me. So they've made 5 of them. So they're kind of like Dynasty Warriors. Yeah. I mean, people are buying them. They're doing well. So
no, Prinnies are like interesting. So they have this mechanic in the game where like if you can throw your units. So like you can use one unit to throw another one to expend that first unit's turn, but to give that second unit more like range. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But when you throw a Prinny, they explode.
Okay, wait. We throw the penguins and they just explode? They're just grenade penguins?
Yeah, they're grenades.
What?
And they do half of their maximum HP and damage.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow,
yep.
That sounds incredible.
It's incredibly violent.
No, okay. So, I just thought of this. So back in the dark days of when I played a lot of Flash games on the internet. Remember Flash games?
This can only end well, but yes.
Yes. So there was a game. Don't remember what website it is. It could have been like Newgrounds or something like that. There was a game. It's called Punk-O-Matic.
I
don't know if any of you guys, have played it.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
But
nope.
So it was this game where you would just have like these generic riffs and stuff that you could play with and just make like a punk song out of it. But it would have these little side cutscenes with this really edgy dude in like a trench coat and sunglasses and like a goatee. He'd be like, yeah, what's going on, man? Welcome to Punk-O-Matic. And like all this stuff. And like, but alongside him was a penguin that looked a lot like the Prinnies from Disgaea, from the Disgaea games. And I'm pretty sure it was.
So you're telling me that there was a Flash game on the internet that didn't have wholly independent ideas and art design?
I know. Surprise, surprise, right? But the thing was, dude, the dialogue was hilarious. So, the guys would be like, whoa, man, I'm not feeling so good. What the hell was in those brownies? And the Prinny be like, you are freaking out, dude.
Okay, here's the thing. No, so Prinnies always say dude. Like, there's that Japanese trope where, like, cutesy characters would ever say, like, a certain phrase, like, on every sentence. You know what I'm talking Like, Colin, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, and Jack, are you aware? So, yeah, for Prinnies, it's a dude. Just DOOD.
So theory confirmed it was a prinny.
Theory totally confirmed.
Yeah,
I'll have to pick up that game. Was it Punkomatic?
Yeah, you can just play it in your browser.
Yeah, I'll look for it on the next Steam sale.
Wow.
Yeah.
Prinnies, after that story, Prinnies might be my spirit animal now because I say dude way too much.
Yeah, it's
same dude.
Amazing. Like when you kill one, they're like, no, dude. It's
just ad nauseum, just at the end of everything.
Yeah.
That's the way they end. That's funny.
Sometimes
that's their Pikachu.
Yeah, sometimes they start a sentence with dude. But yeah, it's great.
Dude, it's their Deus Ex Machina.
I like that. That's good stuff. I like that.
Yeah. So I'd recommend it. It's a good game to pick up on the Switch, especially because I think it really speaks to that whole like pick up and play kind of gameplay. It's like you bring your Switch with you play like a map or two, and then, go off with the rest of your day.
Awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been playing anything else?
So I didn't get too much time with it, so we can only spend a little bit of time, I think. But the ARMS Test Punch was live this weekend. Did any of you guys get a chance to? Well, I know.
No,
Jack,
I didn't, but I would like to.
Yeah, I'm on the curb here with that one, but it looks cool. I did get to see it at PAX South in San Antonio. I was one of the first people that got to see it. I think the graphics look good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, the art style is really good, and that new character is like, what is Nintendo do? Yeah, they're doing like the whole bootylicious thing with all their characters now in Nintendo, I guess.
What? But, wait, what? What are they doing?
Yeah, like Nintendo is giving all of their characters like just insanely big butts. But anyway,
that's just the thing to gloss over.
They learned from Blizzard then, Robert.
Yeah,
it sounds
exactly. Yeah, it was like they're tracerifying everything.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, maybe you can confirm what I've heard. So what I've heard about the game is that it's pretty decent. Like the gameplay mechanics are pretty good. Motion controls aren't the greatest. A lot of people prefer like a pro controller or something like that.
So I only got to play it with motion controls because I only got to play 2 matches. One, the tutorial one, and then the second one after being in queue for like 30 minutes and having to restart queue all the time.
Oh, was it like the test fire where you only got like an hour?
Yeah, you only got only an hour of live time.
Oh man. Because if it's 2 hours, you just won't buy the game.
Yeah, and I mean they spread it out. Like there's like 3-hour-long sessions on Saturday and like things like that.
Wow.
But yeah, it was impossible to find a match. Like it'd find a match and then be like connection error. So it might just be an issue with my Switch's connection to Wi-Fi. Maybe.
Is this developed by Nintendo?
Yeah, it's in-house.
This is a new IP, so they're going IP crazy now with Splatoon and now ARMS.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and ARMS, I think it has potential because it's very charming. Like I was very not receptive to the game at first, but I found it to be very charming after playing it and kind of thinking like, oh, these characters are kind of like cool and fun. I don't see it being a $60 purchase for me though. I will say
that's my concern.
Yeah. So the motion controls, to speak to your question, Colin, I felt like it was pretty good. Like I was kind of surprised that I liked the motion controls as much as I did because that's what I first started with. Like I thought, let's play the game as Uncle Nintendo wanted it to be played, right?
Uncle Nintendo.
Yeah, because I mean, because at E3, they were like, "Oh, you can punch, right? Like you can actually move your fist and punch." So I thought, okay, let's do it. Let's punch some air. And it works pretty well. I think it was because it's very simple, in terms of controls. Like it's not so complex that you need to do very precise motions to get everything right. So I thought it played pretty solidly. And I never felt like, oh, dang it, I didn't want to do this, but the controller thinks I'm doing that,
The game is going to live and die on its motion control, I feel like. I mean, that's the way they're marketing it. That seems to be, they developed it with this system in mind, right? Mm-hmm. So how complex are the moves? How many moves are there per character?
So, per character, it's not as much. I mean, like your character does change things like how high you can jump or like mobility essentially. And then each
have special moves?
They each have different arms that do different things.
Okay.
And when you're playing it, like there isn't that much to do. Like if you want to start strafing right, you move both of your controllers to the right, strafing left, both to the left, and so on. Like if you tilt both controllers left, right, or backwards, like your character will strafe that way. Cross the 2 controllers into each other and you're guarding. Punch with both of them at the same time and you grab, and then punch one at a time to punch. And you can curve your punch too. So it's not complex.
I wonder if it'd be a game that would be fun to play on a controller or not, or whether it just feel like another kind of arena battler.
So when I was listening to Kind of Funny Games cast, and they actually got a chance to demo ARMS.
Let me pick up that name you dropped there for you here.
Yeah. Anyway, so when they talked about it, they said the motion controls were pretty decent, but they had a preference for the controller, actually, like a Pro controller or something like that. Yeah. So I guess the Pro controller controls are pretty solid. I don't know how exactly they work, but they can't be too bad, I would assume.
And I mean, they're doing another test punch this weekend, like this upcoming weekend. So, Colin, you have a chance to play it. Jack, I don't know if you have any friends who own a Switch you can hang out with or something. That
I don't know anyone that owns a Switch. No, I'm Switchless.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be on the sidelines. I mean, like I said, when Mario comes out, I'll be kind of really looking at it. And I saw in the news also recently that Nintendo's upping the production of the Switch. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, they're doubling it.
They're going to be using all those manufacturing plants that they're freed up now since they discontinued the NES Classic. So,
right, yeah,
you know, that thing that was no one wanted at all.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want one.
Now, my final word on ARMS as of right now is I'm going to be really disappointed if they don't make an Inspector Gadget DLC.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to see what the licensing for that is. Like, who even knows? Who would even own that Inspector Gadget?
I don't even know.
Yeah, that would be funny. Let me tell you what would sell me on ARMS. Put Little Mac in that motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I thought they were going to do that.
Oh, I know exactly how I'd feel about it. Awesome.
Well, because all these characters, right? They have like weird arms. Like, yeah, I know, but like, you know, one has ramen arms, the other one has like spring arms. Like, I don't want to see a boneless Lil Mac flailing his skin.
No. Little Mac would just be Little Mac, but he would do the punches, and then like these drones or something would fly out and represent.
Oh my god!
You know, I don't want Little Mac's arms to be like linguini or anything like that, or be stretching like that.
No, he'd be Little Macaroni. Duh.
Okay, that's it. It's over. Cut.
I laughed way too hard at that.
Dude, it would just be like a bundle of macaroni as his arms.
Oh my gosh. No, but
because like Rob, I mean, they're already doing the whole noodle thing.
I can't believe they're making like a boxing game, right? This is a boxing video game.
Yeah.
When's the last time that even mattered or been a thing? Like Fight Night, 2005 on Xbox 360,
Something
like the first one. Like, when is we've talked about boxing? Right, like the last
Wii
Punch
Sports,
Out.
they made another Punch Out game. They made another Punch Out game for Wii.
Oh.
Put Little Mac in there. This is an opportunity. Come on, Nintendo. You're developing the game. You own Little Mac license. Get him in there. DLC or Donkey Kong or some other classic Nintendo characters would be cool too to see.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Macaroni.
Lil Macaroni. Hashtag Lil Macaroni.
Nice.
Colin.
Sound bites.
Colin, did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about that you played?
I wanted to talk about Rodea the Sky Soldier. So Rodea the Sky Soldier isn't like a very well known game or anything like that. It was a game I picked up this past weekend when I was back home. They had a copy for Nintendo 3DS for like $20. I was like, why not? Because it was like a soundtrack, and I heard the game was pretty decent. But I had heard about previously they came out with a Wii U version, and it looked like a pretty fun game. But the cool thing about the Wii U version is it came with a Wii version like in the box.
Huh.
So like it was odd. So I was curious about the game, so I was like, $20 isn't that big of a deal, and it's brand new, and I feel like it's going to be one of those more obscure games in the future. So I was like, why not? So because my collector sense went off, I guess. So I've been playing the game, and the game isn't bad, but so you're playing it on the 3DS, and it's obviously in a 3D space, right? So you're doing a lot of the mechanics is like you're doing jumping and you're flying forward. So the way it works is you're hitting the A button, you're jumping upward, and then you're hitting, and then it shows you like a cursor, like an aim, you know what I mean? A crosshair.
So is this a shmup? Is this a shoot 'em up?
No. So it's like a 3D adventure game, I guess you would call it, or like not necessarily a shooter. So like you shoot up into the air, and then you have like a crosshair. And then, like, you aim it, and you hit the A button again to tell your character where to go. So, and it almost like attacking is kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog, where it's kind of like the whole lock-on thing. You, like, just bounce into the thing, and it breaks it, or, like, kills the enemy. But the problem is, when you're on the ground or, like, in the air or whatever, there's no C-stick support.
Oh. Oh, no.
So you're running on the ground. You're like, why can't I turn the camera with this second stick that is on my 3DS right now?
Well, calling it a stick is generous. It's a little. It's
Right.
a nubby.
It's a nub.
Yeah.
But it does the job for the most part in some games. You know, the closest thing you can get is that stupid mechanic where you hit the trigger or whatever and it just like centers the camera behind your character. So, granted, you're not spending a lot of time on the ground, but it's really frustrating when the only time you can turn your character with an analog stick is up in the air. Like, you can only turn your camera when you're up in the air. It's like the stupidest, most broken thing. And I guess that the point I wanted to come at with that was like, the more and more I play action games on the 3DS, I really just don't think they work on that handheld. They just don't work that way. There's so many other things I would rather be playing an action game on than the 3DS.
Yeah, I think I can.
Let me ask this, just to confirm here: is this game on? Are you playing it on 3DS? Are you playing it on Wii U?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did mention all three consoles. I am playing it on 3DS.
Okay.
Yeah, because I picked up the 3DS version, which came with the soundtrack. But yes, they did make it for Wii U. I'm not sure if it's a direct port or how that works. I had to look it up.
Can I talk about this real quick for a second?
What's up?
So this is just such a weird game. Like, I remember when it came out, it looked interesting to me. It's Japanese developed. It just had kind of, like you said, like that collector kind of itch. I was like, oh, this could be something. This could be a cool thing to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's an NIS America game.
Yeah, and it's just so weird. I don't know, Robert, how much is about this game that you know, but it was released on Wii U, okay, and Wii U packaging with the blue box branded Wii U, but it also came with the Wii version in the case, right?
Right.
And the Wii version, and so both discs are in there, right? And the Wii U plays Wii games and Wii U games, obviously. So both versions play completely differently. The Wii version has motion controls, right? Which is the way the game was meant to be played. But for whatever reason, the Wii U version does not support the motion controls. So the developer of the game publicly came out and was like, do not play the Wii U version of this on Wii U. Play the Wii version on Wii U. This is how the game was meant to be played. It's like such a cluster.
This I didn't know.
Yeah,
what?
It's such a total cluster. He's like, buy this Wii U game, but we put the disc in there because we don't want you to play the Wii U version. We want you to play the Wii U. It changes the way you aim. It changes the way you maneuver. And why not just put it on the Wii U version? Who knows if it was like a budgetary thing or what happened? But it's total mess up. But
it sounds like I need to
cool
buy
game.
that.
Yeah, it seems like
it sounds like it's going to be super rare.
It's so crazy, but
it is wild.
It's one of those just weird quirks in the long road of just bizarre happenings in Wii U land. You know, that whole console and everything around it is just so bizarre and so strange and so one off. So yeah, Rodea the Sky Soldier, check it out.
I will say no. Like I will say that like as weird as those controls are, I mean, they take some getting used to, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it's not too bad. It's actually kind of fun, and the characters are like really quirky. The funniest part about that game though is there's I forget the female character's name, but there's this female character that talks to you and like, oh, you know, she's one of those girls like, hey, go to this objective, or like, hey, this is where your next mission is. You should do this. Well, in the options menu, there's an option to turn up or turn down how much she talks.
Oh God, no! Please don't.
Wait, like frequency or volume?
Frequency.
Whoa. What are the options called?
It says like in the description. So it's like just minimum and maximum, but it says in the description that it's like, it's like, so move this bar to the right if you want so and so to talk more. But I'm not sure if you want this, so be really, really careful about your choice.
Wow.
Or whatever. Like, it's
Weird.
it's like great because nobody wants that super annoying thing, like
So
the whole,
bizarre, man.
you know, and like the Ego Raptor videos, like Mega Man,
Yeah,
like things like that. Yeah,
yeah.
those are called Hammer Joes. But yeah, it's a pretty decent game so far. I like it though, for real though. And then like one other pretty quick thing, but so I just want to talk about this game's packaging. So Trails of Cold Steel. Have you guys heard about this game?
I feel like I have.
Wait, are we talking about a different game?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel.
Yeah, I've
never
heard
heard
of the
of it.
series.
So it's a pretty good JRPG series, and it's got a pretty like hardcore like underground following. Like a lot of people swear by it. Everyone that plays it says like the series is great. So I picked up the first game for Vita, and so here's the thing. So the first game, they have like a special edition, right? And it's called the Lionheart edition. Has like this fancy box, comes with like an art book and like a pin. Well, the cool thing is, and this is how they get you. So you open this box and you pull out the art book, and then there's the game. So you pull out the game in this box, and then behind that is a placeholder. So you open it, and inside's like the collector's pin they give you, but it's also a placeholder for you to put the second game in the box when it comes out.
What are they just going to mail you a sleeve for the disc?
So
what console is this?
So I got mine for Vita. It's also for PS3, both of them, both of the games. So the second game is already out, and I bought the second game, and it just fits snugly right in the box behind the first game. So you put it all in this nice little like fancy foil holographic box, and with this art book, and you just close it up, and it looks really nice on your shelf. And I'm like, damn, that's how you do packaging right there. That's so satisfying.
That's marketing for you.
Yeah.
They got you.
Like,
they got you.
I don't even know how soon I'm going to play both of these games, but I know it looks nice on my shelf because I got both of them in this fancy little box.
They don't care if you ever play it, Colin. I'll tell you right.
That's part of the charm, you know?
I know. I've never heard of it before.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's. I've played a little bit of it, and the combat system is pretty unique. It's worth checking out for sure.
Quite a presumptuous approach, I think. Like, you're going to buy one more. You know
exactly.
It. We know it. You know it.
I mean, if you're shelling out for a collector's edition, like, you're probably more of a fan than most. Probably.
Yeah. I only paid, I think, $30 for that collector's edition.
Fair enough.
The last collector's edition of anything I bought was Fallout 4 a couple years back, or was it just last year?
2 years.
And 2 years ago, yeah. And I redeemed the code on Steam, and the button broke on the Pip-Boy, the plastic replica Pip-Boy. There was a button that broke. It just popped down. It would never come back up. And I think something happened to the same thing on mine, dude. Awesome.
Like, is it like the little black thing on the top there or whatever? I can't remember.
Is not a high quality piece of kit there at all. But anyways, and then what else? Oh, and then I really liked the poster that it came with, so I kept that, right? So I put all of it on eBay, minus the poster, broken button, no game, by the way, just everything else. And what did it cost when it came out? $100, I want to say?
Something like that.
Sold it for like $200 on eBay. Without the game, broken button, no poster. That's how crazy people were at that time about collector's edition stuff. And I kind of said to myself, unless it's Blizzard games, I'm probably not going to be buying collector's editions, anytime soon. Blizzard seems to get it right, in my opinion, with Diablo, with World of Warcraft. I didn't buy the collector's edition of Overwatch, but
because it wasn't that good.
Yeah, that soldier statue, like, that was kind of like an ill-conceived, real, like, marquee item to put in there, because how many people are going to main one character? That one particular character.
I think so we're kind of like we're at this weird thing with collector's editions now, where like all of them just come with like some form of statue, and that's usually like all it is. Like, you can usually just expect that a collector's edition is going to come with some sort of statue, and it's like it's to the point now where, like, I think Middle Earth Shadow of War has like a $200 or so collector's edition that just comes with like this really nice statue. But it's like, dude, I don't really care too much about a statue. Like, give me some cool knickknack that is good. Like, one that comes to mind is, I think it was Infamous 2. Infamous 2 comes with Cole's backpack, like a replica backpack.
I got the one with the beanie.
Infamous Second Son comes with the dude's beanie from I forget his name.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I love now, collector's edition wise, when it's like a $200 collector's edition, doesn't even come with the game, like the latest Halo or whatever it was.
Battlefield 1.
Yeah, it doesn't even come with the game.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yes.
It's a thing now, and they're expensive, and you don't even get the game, and it's a collector's edition. Like, what are you even doing with your life? But you know what's sad about it is, I guarantee you, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of market research went into those coming out to market, and they determined they could sell them, and people will buy them with or without the game. That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we get down to like the whole stupid thing with like gold editions that Ubisoft does nowadays with like the season. It comes with like the season pass, but then like extra DLC. But then they also have the what is it, like the day one edition or whatever that still comes with DLC, but it costs you a little bit more. It's like $100 for the gold edition, but then it's like 70 or 80 for the day one edition. And then like I just saw recently the new NBA game that's coming out by 2K. They have the legendary edition, and then they have the legendary gold edition.
Jesus, what?
Legendary gold day one collector's edition.
It's like $120. I'm like, why?
I mean, it's a complicated issue we're bringing up now, but game development is only getting more expensive, and companies now are just working at how can we extract the maximum amount of money per player. really. You know, season passes are a result of that. I remember a time when a game just came out and guess what? It was done. And whatever bugs that it shipped with, they were just there forever. You can't update them. They weren't, you know, there wasn't any season pass. There wasn't any. What I really hate is where you had like scratch off the code in the Xbox 360 game just to unlock multiplayer, like in Mass Effect 2 or something.
Yeah, the online
like
passes.
That. Yeah, that was
online passes.
Yeah, because if you bought the game used, then you would have to pay shell out another $15, $20 to get multiplayer. Like, well, you know what? When you do that to me, like it just makes me not play your multiplayer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, like I actually, the most recently I experienced that. I got a used copy of Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and that had an online pass. And not that I'm going to play the online in that one, but it's funny that you mentioned Mass Effect 2 though, because my first experience with Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect, my buddy actually got me Mass Effect 2 for my birthday one year, but it was a used copy, and so I didn't know anything about the Mass Effect games. So I went back and just like, right. So I went back and bought the first Mass Effect digitally just to play through it. And then I got to the second one. It was like, oh, hey, you want the Cerberus Network online features? You have to pay $15 for this online pass.
So
I'm like, are you kidding me? So of course, you know, being the gullible child that I was, I bought it.
Yeah.
And I was like, just to have that second monitor open on the main menu.
Oh man, yeah, that one was
like,
especially nefarious. Yeah, because they make you look like you're only getting half the game, like on the title screen, right?
Yep.
That one was really, really sneaky. Did you play a lot of it?
Mass Effect 2?
The multiplayer.
The multiplayer, as in.
Did you play a lot of it?
Wait, there was multiplayer Mass Effect 2? You mean 3?
I'm sorry, 3. Yeah, the one that you.
Yeah, well, I played a little bit of the multiplayer in 3. I bought that one brand new, so I didn't have the problem like I did the first time. But I did.
No. What I'm saying is the multiplayer pass that you shelled out for when you were a gullible kid. Did you end up playing a lot of it after paying for it?
Oh yeah, like what? I don't even remember what it all entailed because I know you get like the Cerberus Network thing and it give you like some DLC. I can't remember what did it give you.
Yeah, I gave you like some gear or something.
Yeah, it wasn't a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
but there was DLC for it.
It was
something like that. Yeah, but I remember shelling out like $15 for it. I mean, of course, and then I played a little bit of the online in 3 after I think that still had the online pass thing going on. But I was like, I was so glad when EA's like, nah, we're done doing the whole online pass thing because they were, you know, trying to hit hard against the used game market or whatever for the longest time. Yeah, but now they have the whole, you know, the gold edition tiers and everything else. So it's stupid.
You know, I like CD Projekt Red's kind of philosophy on it. They say make a game so good that people will want to pay for it, which is exactly what Witcher 3 was, in my opinion. Yep. And they put it out DRM free. Mm-hmm. There's no one stopping people from going out and pirating that if you want to, but the game is that good that you would be like, you know, they deserve a little bit of money. You know, it's one of the best games of that year that it came out.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
Yeah, I still haven't played it.
Oh, do it, Colin, do it. It's
I have it sitting on my shelf for my PS4 right
200
now.
200 hours of awesome.
PC built.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears a little bit. I want to kind of talk about our little bit of news that we have lined up before we wrap it up for tonight. So did you guys see that Far Cry 5 has been announced?
Oh, did I?
Yeah, how could you not?
You can't. I mean, you can't. If you follow anything that has to do with gaming and you've been on Twitter the past week, it's hard to avoid.
Yeah, for many reasons. They dropped a couple trailers. Well, they dropped like one big trailer, right, last Friday, and they dropped like 3 character like monologues, you know, of like 3 people that you're most likely probably going to interact with at some point in the story.
Yeah, they're probably going to be like shopkeepers or something, or, you know, sell you upgrades.
Yeah, something like that. And it kind of fleshes them out more to, you know, make them more than just the name that you talk to. But it's been kind of getting a lot of controversy because religion, TM. So the story of it so far is basically a religious cult, right? Like there's Father Joseph, who's, you know, like, will bring you salvation and you will come with us, whether you want to or not. And then you see people with guns taking people hostage and dragging them into the church, and then some dude baptizing and or waterboarding a woman.
Whoa, really? What?
Yeah, in the trailer. Did you?
Oh, wow. Well, I saw him dunking her, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it was like, is that a baptism or is that a waterboarding?
It's like a forced baptism, yeah. It's doesn't look like
it's
the way.
It's like the beginning of Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking, though. It's like this twisted form of baptism, you know what I mean? And like the cult size, right? No, so yeah, it's got a lot of like religious vibes, and the story puts you, and by the way, you are a customizable character in this one. You can be a man or a woman, and whatever race, and you'll spend like 20 minutes customizing your face that you'll never see again.
I think that's a first time for the series.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, customize your forearms, right?
You can customize your character, man or woman, and you're being placed into Hope County, Montana, as the new deputy sheriff, I believe, right, in town.
Joe Montana.
Yeah, and I'm assuming the story is like you're an outsider, you don't know what's going on, but religious cults acting up. What are you gonna do?
I'm actually all right. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm actually somewhat. For one, I'm excited about this game because I played so much Far Cry 3, and I played and beat Far Cry 4. But, this game this series needed kind of a shot in the arm. It was getting kind of stale. If they made just another one of those games with all the towers and with like the same 3 or 4 different objectives, just repeated ad nauseum throughout the whole 40-hour experience, whatever 30-hour experience, I would kind of be very bored with it. The fact that it's in America for the first time is really intriguing to me. Montana, I think, is a good pick, a very interesting pick. I mean, if you pay attention to, the news stories out in the last couple of years, like the militia, is definitely like kind of comes up here. So it's an interesting pick. I'm surprised, sort of. I know, I hope I don't sound too naive, but I'm surprised a little bit by all this controversy. Maybe you guys can help shed light on it. Like, what exactly is the big deal?
I mean, that's kind of how I feel too, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure people are latching on to this idea where it's like, oh, this is Ubisoft's attack on the conservatives because it's trying to paint religion in a bad light, where that's completely not the case, because they're not saying, oh, look at these Christians, they're forcing people into baptism. No, it's not like Christians who are doing this. This is
it's a
cult.
Twisted form of Christianity.
Yeah, I mean,
right? It's
like,
a cult.
Yeah, there's
right?
there's Christian symbolism. You see like the 7 sins. Like you see gluttony and like sloth like written around on the text, but it's clearly like, I don't know about you, but that's not what you see on Sundays when you go to church. Like at least I hope not. If that's what you see, go call help ASAP. But
I mean, so the controversy is that people are saying that this is like representing Christianity wrong.
That's what I've been gathering.
Is that what the bullet point is? Colin, can you chime in at
all? I haven't read too much into it personally, but like the things that I've been seeing was like, it all started because I saw a dude, like I talked about it in our Discord chat, but the dude that was like, they just released a trailer for Far Cry 5. I'm going to give it 10 days for someone to write an article about it being racist, and not 2 hours after, someone came out with an outrage-filled article about how it was like, I think it was something along the lines of like completely like trashing hard right Republicans or something like that.
Yep.
And just calling out Republicans in general, and just like giving religious people a bad name and blah blah blah, like you were saying, Robert.
Well, who's getting their religious and political views from video games anyways? Like, when's that ever been like a first source and like a, you know what I mean? Like it's rated M and whatever that rating is for rated R. It's an adult story. It's for adults. Don't let your kids play this game if you don't want to. And if you want them to play it, maybe you should supervise them and see what they're doing. But I don't have any kids. I'm not going to tell you how to be a parent. But to me, I'm all about interesting stories. And, I'm going to say something controversial here too, but I don't know if those things are true, those claims that people are making, that it's making fun of the alt-right or this religion or that religion or whatever. But my whole response to that is, so what if it is?
Yeah.
So what if it is? Like, this is, the freedom of speech.
That's just what people want nowadays, man. They want to search out things that can maybe be offensive to some people and just get clicks.
Everyone needs to be alarmed. Everyone needs to be, like upset about something. Oh, this is this week's thing to be upset about.
It's the what is it? The Offense Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a cool game, and Montana, like I said, is a cool setting, and I'm actually kind of excited to see Far Cry in America. Because traditionally in some weird Pacific island or South America or something like that,
land,
Yeah, and the last 2 games, you play a white guy and you can't choose the race. You have to just be a white dude, and you have to kill and murder about 1,000 brown people or so. Like,
that's not true. In Far Cry 4, aren't you
like Nathan Drake?
Aren't you half brown in Far Cry 4?
I don't know. I'm making generalizations, but I'm just saying, like, I played those games. I beat those games. I had fun with it. I didn't take it too seriously, just like I wouldn't take the latest Sylvester Stallone movie seriously or Vin Diesel movie seriously. It's entertainment. Yeah, and lighten up. And you're playing a video game to kind of escape. It doesn't it doesn't at least represent the America that I know. I mean, it has true elements of certain parts of the culture. I think that's interesting. Make a commentary about it. Say something. I'm interested in hearing other people's viewpoints. Viewpoints that I might not necessarily agree with, but I'm interested in hearing them.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Far Cry is a power fantasy, right? Like, there's no realistic way that, like, if you were put in the shoes of Far Cry 3 or 4, you would not get out of it alive. Like, if you, Jack Cepeda, were there, you know what I mean? Like, no, I mean, no, I'm sure you're a very strong guy.
The first Gila monster that came up, I'd be poisoned and dead in the brush.
Yeah. So, I mean, Far Cry is definitely a power fantasy. So I don't look for, like, that already just makes me stop thinking about realism or how it affects the real world. You know what I mean? It's just like, these are humans in a story and things are going to happen. You're going to shoot some people. Yeah. They're going to shoot at you and it's fine. It just so happens that this time around, the big bad guy isn't like Joker 2.0 that, lives in a faraway land. It's a crazy, quote, father that is
whoa, get some.
Yeah.
That crazy bump in the mic.
Yeah. I mean, Colin, I'm interested though. Like, what are your thoughts? Were you offended at all? Were you like concerned? Did this raise any flags for you?
No, like it's just back to that whole thing. It's like, guys, it's a video game. Like, I'm not gonna like. It's like that whole thing. Even when games like try to offend people, I don't really care. Like, what was that whole controversy with the game Hatred? Where it was like, I just want to see people die and lie on their floor with blood.
No, it was it was trying so hard, it just didn't really hit anything. It was so intense and leaned one way. The only reason I didn't play that game was because I read a news story that the developers of that had like ties to like certain groups of people that I just won't even mention, that I just didn't want to be associated with. So I was like, well, I'm not going to support them. I have a choice. I can vote with my dollars,
See, I didn't play that game.
I don't know. It just seemed like a ploy to get, more people on CNN hating on video games than they already do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
See, I didn't play Hatred because it's just a bad looking game. Like, it just didn't look fun.
No, that too. I mean,
it really didn't look fun.
It just looked like if you're the kind of guy that sits there in the morning, eats his Wheaties, watching all of the fatalities to Mortal Kombat X, like, just over and over and over again, then maybe Hatred's for you. But it's just me. I don't get my kicks like that.
Well, even so, like, GTA 5 is a way better I'm gonna kill random people simulator than Hatred was, just in terms of game mechanics, I think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Yeah. So Far Cry 5. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, in GTA 5, I don't even like to kill people. You know what I do? I go in first person mode, and then I go on brawl streaks where I just run down the street and then as fast as I can, sprinting wise, and just one punch people in the face.
Yep.
And then I just
Superman
keep on
punching.
And dude, I just keep Superman punching and see how many people I can get before I get caught by the cops.
That's funny.
But I never jump in a car. I just run down the street. That's all I do.
Cool game. We get 4 or 5 stars that way, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Dude. I get up to like 3 or 4 stars.
We have a serial puncher on the loose. But yeah, Far Cry 5, I think I'm really looking forward to it, honestly.
Me too.
It looks very exciting because Jack, the place you're at right now with the Far Cry series is how I was at the end of Far Cry 3. I was like, Far Cry 4 looks cool, but it just looks like more of the same, and I don't know if I want that right now. Like, that's how I felt when Far Cry 4 was released.
No, I don't want to play that game again. They need to change it up. It looks like they're taking a lot of risks. The promotional material looks cool. The graphics, I'm sure, are going to be awesome. I'm really glad I got a beefy graphics card to handle that now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it, but we got a while, guys. It's not till February 2018.
February 27, 2018. So basically the end of February.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be a reskin. It's going to be Far Cry Primal's map reskin to look like Montana, which was Far Cry
Primal was, you know what? They tried to change it with Primal, but it was, what I heard was it was originally supposed to be DLC for Far Cry 4, but then they said, no, make it a whole game. Make it a whole game.
That's what the people
and charge
want.
$60 for it.
That's what the people need.
So I couldn't, I just had that impression, so I couldn't really get behind that. That's just too much Far Cry-ness for me. Mm-hmm. But Far Cry 5, I hope they take chances with it. It seems like they are. And like you said, I'm anticipating it for sure.
We need a Far Cry Blood Dragon Part 2.
Yo, I want a whole Far Cry game that's Blood Dragon. But with Far Cry 5, what it is right now, I think they have a lot of potential. Like, there's so much potential in this, right? Because it could have a really, really good story. It could tell a very compelling story, and they can change some of the mechanics of the game to make it feel fresh. So it kind of changes the whole packaging of it. And I think with that, they could kind of revitalize Far Cry. Because right now, Ubisoft's kind of sitting in a rut with their IPs. but this year could look very good for them, right? Because they're going to be releasing information on Assassin's Creed sometime this year.
Last I checked, I think it was Ghost Recon Wildlands is actually the game that's made the most money this year so far, which is crazy. Yep. So it's like, it's one of those games where like, nah, it's not going to sell. Who cares about like Ghost Recon Wildlands? I mean, I enjoyed playing it with myself and I played it the one night, but like, it's like you wouldn't think about it, but then you get down to the, to brass tacks and it's like, oh, they made a lot of money on this.
Yeah.
So Ubisoft may not be as in a near bad a spot as we think they are.
I think it's just, I'd like to see their IPs keep being fresh. If they're going to make so many of these games.
No, yeah, I totally agree. For Honor just fell off the face of the earth.
They marketed that game incredibly well, and I think For Honor honestly is it came and gone kind of. Like I haven't heard too many people talking about it. I don't really know how popular it still is, but it is a great game, and it's a kind of secret fighting game. That's a really good solid game. Like I want to pick it up. I keep seeing the shortcut on my desktop. Like, oh man, do I have time? I do want to pick it back up along with so many other games this year. It just points to the larger problem of too many great games, right?
Yep.
Poor us.
Yeah.
The warrior game where there's no such thing as scabbards. Everyone just kind of holds their sword at their side and their hand on the blade. There's no scabbards in all of For Honor. No, I think in terms of For Honor, I think it would be one of those games that would really benefit from getting the Assassin's Creed 2 treatment, where they just like revamped and like just refined everything about it and re-released it, and then it's going to be a huge thing since it kind of fell off this time.
We'll see if it gets a sequel. We'll see.
I think I should probably wrap us up for tonight, though.
Yes.
Yep. Is that a question or are you telling?
No, I'm forcing you to wrap it up right now.
Like a present?
Yeah.
We could put a bow on it.
This is the second time you've done this in my life.
No. The first time was really bad because I said something about candy wrappers and it didn't make any sense. Anyway.
Okay, Colin, let's just end this podcast as awkwardly as possible.
Yeah. So I'm
striving.
Where can we find you guys online if we want to follow you?
Oh, I thought Jack was going to go first, but I'll go first.
No, yeah, just as awkward as possible, please, Colin.
Yeah, Colin, keep going.
I told you, I'm striving, man. I'm really striving hard here. More.
Jilted.
More. Anyway, @booboo__55. Colin Amato on Twitter.
Are you messing around? Are you playing with us? Colin, every week goes by, I learn more and more about you, man.
I'm sorry. It's just, I know that's for real, but Jack, your response like, is this am I in a fever dream right now? What is going on?
Yeah. All right. No, you can. No, man. You can find me at Jack Cepeda on Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, and you can.
No K, by the way.
Yeah, the JAC. Yeah, good call. Good call.
Okay. Yeah.
At JAC.
And now I'm the one making it awkward.
At JACCEPEDA.
And you can find me, Robert, at Pinoptimist, PINOPTIMIST. And that should be it for this week. That's a wrap. I guess tune in next week for another episode of TDP, the Tiny Disc Podcast. And until then, see ya.
Tiny Disc.
Bye, guys.